Okay, so when did the British royal family stop speaking German? Let's start with this guy, George I. Now, he was born and raised in Germany, and German is his native language. If you want to know how a German man gets the throne of Great Britain, I have a whole video on it in my FAQ playlist. This is quite interesting because if you put a German man on the British throne, you would expect there to be a top-down imposition of the German language, like there was with French 800 years before, but that's not what happens. So he can speak English, he's just not very confident. But that doesn't mean the court changes to German to accommodate him. In fact, the court is just as likely to speak in French as German, and they make him go to church services in English. Next king, George II, he's also born in Germany, but he's much better at speaking English. And he actually tries to play down how German he is. He says, "There is not one drop of blood in my veins but what is English." Then after that, we're back to kings whose native language is English again. So it's not like French in the medieval period, where it's being used in Parliament and in the courts and totally changes English vocabulary forever. Having said that, even members of the royal family in the 18th century who are British often marry German women. This is Princess Augusta of Saxe-Gotha, and when she married into the British royal family, she doesn't speak a lick of English because her parents had not bothered to get her a tutor. They'd assumed that the German king had just made us all speak German. She has to have someone translating things in her ear at the wedding. But once she is here, she gets herself an English tutor and starts speaking English. The other royal I hear being called German a lot is Queen Victoria, so she is born and raised in London, but her mother definitely doesn't speak much English. Victoria herself doesn't start being taught English until she's 3 years old. But by the time she's grown up, clearly English is her preferred language. She writes her own private diary in English. Now, this isn't saying that the royals don't speak German. A lot of them learn French and German and a couple of other languages so that they can speak to more people. But yeah, it's very different to the top-down imposition of French that you see in the medieval period. So I guess the better question is not when did they stop speaking German, but when did they start? And why are we so keen to see the British royal family as a foreign power?